Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar. Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar. Walillahi alhamd. A'udhu billahi minash shaitanir rajim. Bismillahir rahmanir rahim. La hawla wa la quwwata illa billahi al-azim. Alhamdulillahi alladhi anzala ala abdihi al-kitaba wa ahlam yajil lahu iwaja. Akmaduhu subhanahu wa ta'ala wa asquruhu wa huwa ahli hamda wa thana. Wa ashhadu an la ilaha illa wahdahu la sharika lahu wa ashhadu anna Muhammadan abduhu rasuluhu wa mustafa. Allahumma salli wa sallim ala abdika rasulika Muhammadan wa ahlihi wa sahbihi wa sallam. Alhamdulillah bil alamin. We thank Allah Almighty always for every opportunity. This is the holy month of Muharram, and it is famous throughout the world as magnificent events happening during the month of Muharram, especially during Muharram 10. So many miraculous events, so many powerful, unexplainable events, so many awesome events that affected the mentality and the way of thinking and the destiny of people. And it's no different. Every Muharram, there's something special that occurs during this month. Either it may be known, it may not be known to some. But those whom Allah Almighty is sufficient for them, they experience every oxygen molecule of Muharram like we do from the time we are sleeping and awake, without oxygen inhaling and exhaling. One of the really difficulties of human beings is that we don't take seriously that we are here. Allah brought us here. We were born here. We were born in a place that Allah Almighty caused a punishment for Adam and Eve to be in. We are born in that place of punishment as a reminder that there is no God but Allah Almighty. Very few people, they are able to keep their consciousness about this reality. We occupy ourselves always with the things of this life that Allah says are shackles of deception. Why does Allah say it's shackles of deception? It means that it's not real. Most of the population, if you're driving down the streets or driving your car or wherever you are, most of them are looking down and they're looking at a computer, as a phone. They're listening to the radios and watching TVs, and this is their entertainment. So when trials and tribulations come on us, we are confused. The Prophet Muhammad ﷺ said if he could have prayed all good for him, he would have. All of the 124,000 prophets were tested. They were tested like you cannot believe someone can be tested. But what was the antidote to their test that we need and we don't have? It's very difficult for us to spend 5 minutes alone by ourselves. The only time we spend alone from everything else, except maybe our phones with us, in offices of nature. Even then, we're still distracted. Allah Almighty sent the human being here with everything that they would ever need for any need. All of the prophets, may Allah be pleased with them, we read about them in the Old Testament, the New Testament, the Quran. We're in awe about them. But Allah is saying that they are like you. They represent what is in you. When we send them to you, we are sending them to you so you may be the you that Allah Almighty created and not the you that you think you are. When Job alayhi salam had everything and more, Allah Almighty wanted to show Shaitan what a real believer was, what a real servant of Allah was. With someone who really knew themselves, knew their mentality, knew their body, knew their soul. Because when he was tested in the severe test, he knew that Allah Almighty was with him because he was with Allah Almighty. His mind knew, that's why he didn't trip. Even though his body appeared with the sickness, he was not suffering from the sickness. The appearance of people, because Allah Almighty may use people to test other people. And he used some people to balance other people. Job was with his Lord and his Lord was with him. Because when you're going through a long testing period, when Allah says, don't you think you say you're going to believe and not be tested? Okay, we may have something happen to us or a bump or something or a scratch and we say, oh, then it's over and we forget about it. But when there's something that's persisting on us, all day, all night, Allah Almighty is saying, if you believe in me in the day, do you believe in me in the evening? Do you believe in me in the afternoon? When do you believe in me? And that's why the prayers were set up. Because we always take time out to do the things that we want to do, that we understand to do. And believers understand that communication to Allah Almighty is everything to them. It's everything. That's that holy communication that, okay, this tragedy is happening to me. And Allah is saying, yes, this is happening to you. But you know I'm with you. And you're saying, I know that you're with me. And then Allah Almighty is teaching about that confusion. That confusion is never for that individual. That confusion is also always for other people too, for those people to be able to teach people that Allah Almighty always has our interests at heart. When Prophet Ibrahim alayhi salam was going to be put in the fire, Angel Jibril came to him and said, I will put it out. Prophet Ibrahim alayhi salam was offended. That wasn't his ego. Only the ego can be offended. But his soul was like, oh no. I don't need your help. It's enough that Allah Almighty knows that I'm here. They were going to burn him. We have never seen the likes of such a bonfire. This was a bonfire to the 100th power. The whole town was against him. Nobody was with him. His parents were not with him. His siblings, no one was with him. He was only by himself with his Lord. And it was enough. That's why he's the father of faith. Why was he like that? Because he knew himself. He spent time with himself. We spend time with our gadgets and we learn how to master them. We spend time driving our cars and we drive better. We become speed racers and all kinds of all our material things. We become so acquainted with them. We mastered them. But they are shadows of deception. They have a beginning, they have an end. Can't take it with you when you leave. So Allah Almighty is only pleading to us. Is don't live the tragedy of living this life never knowing who you really are. Because I'm going to test you. I'm going to bring heaven down on you. I'm going to bring the earth on you. I'm going to bring hell on you. I'm going to send Satan from your left, your right, your front, your back. And he does not have your interest at heart. And if you're not seeking refuge in me, you're going to perish. You're going to be a two-time loser. It's sad in the graves. So many sad people in the graves. More sad people in the graves than happy people. Because now the people in the grave, they know the reality of Allah Almighty. There's no such thing as an unbeliever in the grave. Even though because they didn't believe on this side, there's no benefit now for them that they believe. But the awesome thing about this point now, that people, if they don't hear and obey, they will going to perish just like the people that have gone and died and in the grave and realize that there's a reality, that Allah's reality. Allah Almighty is sending Masih and Isa in the world. And while he has not appeared physically, this is the time for repentance and getting our lives together to know who we are and whose we are. When he physically appears, there will be no more forgiveness. And he may appear anytime. This is the month of Muharram. Miraculous things happen in this month. We shouldn't continue to live like stupid people. People perish from a lack of understanding and knowledge. Why? Because they don't listen to those whom Allah Almighty sent among us, who ask us for nothing but to be yourself. And by them not listening, they found in their lives that they have so many difficulties coming on now. In their family lives, in their school lives, in their business lives, and wherever they are, because they don't listen. But they're never going to blame themselves. They're never going to say, I didn't listen, I was hard-headed, I was stupid. That would be repentance. They're going to say, so-and-so made me do it. I shouldn't have never listened to them. And if I hadn't gone there, then it would never even happen. Live stupid, you die stupid. The prophets are us and we are the prophets. But we cannot be them unless we know who we are. Unless we can take that guidance and apply it and think about it and work with it like we work with our little gadgets. Till we master. We know how to go into the map system. We know how to go and get this and get that and how to add this and add that and take this away and how to photograph and how to send it out to somebody. It takes time. But all of your time, there's some people that cut off everything. I don't want to hear no radios. I don't want to see no TVs. I don't want to look at this phone. I'm just going to sit with myself and ask myself, who am I? Why am I here? I'm going to ask, is my Lord to help me with my ego, help me to understand who I am and why I'm here? And it takes time. It takes time to learn about those gadgets. But we put the time in. But no one is putting time in themselves. Don't you know it's a mercy when Allah Almighty shuts you down? Don't you know it's a mercy if Allah Almighty put you in a prison somewhere? Put you in seclusion or put you in a hospital somewhere? Don't you know that's a mercy? Not a curse. If you use it wisely, you become like Joseph. He used that time wisely. He wasn't stupid. His God was his father. He had told his father, I had a dream that my brothers were bowing down to me and the sun was bowing down to me. Allah Almighty sent him to a process of trials and tribulations. He didn't have no Facebook or Twitter or TV to look at. All he had to do was had to deal with himself. And even if he asked, why is this happening? He had time to wait for the answer. Allah Almighty prepared him to be the king of Egypt. Allah raised him to be above everybody at that time on the planet. Because he looked to his Lord. He did one thing, he made one mistake. When he was in the prison, and he had helped somebody in the prison, and he said, when you get out, put a good word into me for the king, with the king, so I can get out. That person forgot about it. Allah Almighty was not pleased with that, and he stayed in longer. He set up partners to Allah Almighty. See, Allah Almighty don't play that. You say, homie don't play that? Allah really don't play that. And he stayed in prison longer. Look at the difference when you look to Allah Almighty with all your mind, heart, and soul, and how regardless of what situation he puts you in, he takes you out. Regardless of what it is, beyond your imagination, beyond any theoretical analysis or philosophies, isms or schisms, or trials and tribulations, Allah can bring you out of it in a blink of an eye. And yet we set up partners to Allah Almighty. That's why we deserve to be punished. And if we are punished, that's a mercy, because if we're still on this side, it's time for us to get it together. If Allah Almighty sent someone among us, and they said, okay, wash windows. The guidance is coming through the washing the windows. We're going up. Don't say, oh, no, this is nothing. I can't do this. I got something else to do. Okay, well, you can expect trials and tribulations to come on you that you won't understand. And you're going to be confused about it. And you're going to die confused about it. And you're going to be in the grave still confused about it. Till you see the reality, then you want to beg to come back. After knowing the reality, that has got to be the most stupidest thing anybody could ever do. If you're getting guidance, why should you have to be begging to come back when you can't come back? When guidance frees you to make a decision to do what you're supposed to do. This month of Muhammad, there's no joke about this. Things will not be the same as it was. Everybody that's been fake will be with that is fake. Everybody will be with their Lord. Allah is making a clear distinction and separation. Those who are for real will be with the for real. Those who are not real will be with the unfor real. Those who are with Allah as apostle will be with Allah as apostle. Those who be with Shaitan and their ego will be separated and be with Shaitan and their egos. That's what this month is. Guidance is our salvation. Still we don't know, we still don't recognize. Day late, dollar short. Still have not changed our mentality and our actions. And you suffer and you don't know why you're suffering. You're looking to blame somebody else but yourself. That's why you'll never reach anything like that. Never. When you're undergraduate, they have a big sign on our chest, stupid. Angels be beating us in the chest. Allah Almighty, the angels be saying, Allah Almighty sent us there to help you. We will ground you. You had a one on your right, on your left. They were all around you. Why didn't you listen to guidance when Allah Almighty sent guidance to you? Then you're going to be all sad. Oh, man. Please let me go. No matter how sad you're going to be, you ain't coming back. The coming back is now. Before Mahdi Islam has his physical appearance. Mahdi now also has his friends he's sending among us to listen to. Because when he show up, he's going to show up. All they're saying to us is don't be stupid. You think you the stuff? Okay, continue to be what you are, what you do. Continue to do the things that you're doing, and you ain't making nothing that ain't progressing you. You're not going up spiritually, mentally, physically, spiritually, financially, socially, politically, ethically, morally. You're just existing. Living like animals. Eating, drinking, procreating. Like animals. What's the distinction? We're asking Allah Almighty to take this ignorance out of us. And let this be the month that we really become clear about what guidance is and where the guidance is. And who we're supposed to be doing. Well, who we're supposed to be following? Shaitan, or we supposed to be following Allah Almighty? Where's Shaitan? Where are those who represented Shaitan? Where are those who represent Allah as apostle? Where are they? Let me be with the ones that Allah wants me to be with. Otherwise, we might as well start to dig our graves now. Because the longer we stay on this side, it gets worse. Because there's this more rope that's on our necks to continue to be more stupid than we were today. Tomorrow. We have the power to change our activity. Why do we still remain asleep? When the call of prayer has been called, we still sleep. Allah says prayer is better than sleep. Yet we continue to sleep. We know what we're doing. And that's why when Allah Almighty call us and ask you what you did with your time, you won't be able to say anything. Because we already know what we're doing. But what we forget is that even though we don't see Allah Almighty, Allah sees us. And we should worship Allah as if we're seeing Him, even if we don't see Him. He sees us. But we've lost that consciousness because we don't know who the heck we are. Even the seasons know when it's supposed to come in. Like today, a little different though. It's snowing, the sun is out, it's raining, the wind is blowing. That's how people are that don't know who they are. They don't know if they're the summer, spring, winter, or fall. People live like that every day. They don't know if they're going or coming because know men and women in song start doing decadent stuff to escape from their own ignorance. When guidance is the antidote. You want to be called stupid for the rest of your life? Then continue to follow your nafs and the shaitan. And believe me, you'll hear what you are the rest of your doggone life. This life and the next life. This is a similitude of reality. Allah brought us here to know who we are. And who Allah is to us and who we are to Allah. And Allah sends us between us guidance to make that connection. If you miss that connection, you miss the ride. You're going to be left where you are. And if you don't know where you are, you're lost. Wake up. Wake up. Wake the hell up. Because time is running out. Quicker than you know imagine. Won't be as long as it has been. Just like the days are short as the sunshine. The sunshine is short. It's a sign. Life is short now. The sun, the chime is going to change again. And the sun is going to go down an hour before time it was before. Time is getting short. The light is getting short. Wake up. Look at the signs. Look at the signs. In yourself, first of all. You know you ain't right, change it. And you cannot know that you're not right if you're true to yourself. I'm not if you could find it. Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar. Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar. Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar, walillahi alhamd. Alhamdulillahi Rabbil Alameen, wa salatu wa salamu ala karul muslimin, Muhammadin nabiyyi wa ahlihi wa sahbihi ajmain amma ba'd. How can you be happy not doing what you were created to do? Anything else is going to be a temporary fix. It's like masturbating. You can't procreate with masturbation. And the world, humanity is masturbating and it's not giving any kind of life to humanity. Not bringing life. How long are we going to continue to interfere with Allah Almighty's will for us? Why do we have to wait for guidance to seek us out? We should be seeking guidance. Why do we continue not to hear and obey when Allah Almighty sends us guidance? Allah has blessed us to do something with a very, very honorable. Allah Almighty has given us the top honorable connect. A direct honorable connect to perfect. And yet we sit idly by and take it lightly. Setting up partners to that Allah Almighty has set to be among us. And my warning, first of all, to myself, then to you. Expect a horrible chastisement for disobedience. وَمَنْ لَا تَوْفِيقَ فَاتِحَ. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Alhamdulillah. الرحمن الرحيم مالك يوم الدين إياك نعبد وإياك نستعين اهدنا الصراط المستقيم صراط الذين أنعمت عليهم غير المغضوب عليهم ولا الضالين.